Yeah, man. So yesterday was another great day. 5 wins and 1 loss. And then we're on a 2-day winning streak now. I'm going to show you exactly what happened yesterday very quickly. I have 3 plays for you in baseball. I'm also going to give you the full breakdown for the game so you can check that out and you can make your own decisions on what you want to do. So yesterday I shared this one for free right in YouTube. So we had the Cubs on the Diamondbacks. They came through for us. You can see Arizona barely took that at a 1-0. But then the Cubs won that pretty easily, 6-2. So that was cashed. Then I took the Diamondbacks at a -1 so that I can parlay that together with a batter prop because this dude was too high at a -425. So you can see I got paid out for the one batter prop, but it was a push on the Diamondbacks. This one, I'm going to be honest, man, it's a little bit more of like knowing what the hell you're doing and watching this game live. This game was very interesting because it was Game 7 in the NBA, and whoever won this game was going to go on to the Western Championship. So anyways, when I was watching the game, the Thunder were down 21-10 in the first quarter. And what I noticed is that Gordon, one of their main key players, was actually limping. And then they were down 21-10. So like I said, the Nuggets were winning. So one of the best players for the Nuggets is obviously Jokic, but the second one is Gordon. And then Gordon was actually limping. And the announcers said, this dude has a semi-injury. They literally said it like that, semi-injury. And then he was walking around. And then when I noticed, I was like, man, this thing is going to go in the Thunder's favor, and I'm going to get great value here, is when Jokic was shooting a free throw. And I saw this dude, Gordon, he was way in the backcourt, like in the other side of the court. And he was like holding his knee like this. So I said, man, this dude's tired. This dude's injured. He's limping already. It's first period, and he's already limping. I said, you know what? Let me take the Thunder because it was great value. And they sure enough came back and won 32 points. So again, you kind of have to you have to kind of find edges live if you're going to be doing stuff like this. But I saw that edge and I took it. Then we had 2 batters to get 1 hit, and then these under 1.5 no run first innings. These have been very solid. 6 days in a row we've been hitting with these. All right, guys. Like I said, like it was a 5-1 day yesterday. I'm going to share a couple of plays in baseball. So as you can see right here, we have a full breakdown of the Reds and the Pirates. The starting pitching you got the starters right here. It gives you their ERA. They're nearly even. You got a bullpen edge right here towards the Reds. Also, this is very lopsided on the lineup. So the on-base percentage for the Reds is they're ranked 4 in baseball. Compare that to the Pirates, they're ranked 29th. So that's a huge discrepancy on how often the Reds get on base compared to the Pirates. Also, they have an advantage for the pitching as well and the bullpen. Also, check this out. The recent form, the Pirates are 3-9 in the last 12 games at home. And the Reds have recently swept the Pirates. In the last time they went out, they swept them 3-0. The projected score is the Reds 5.3. Compare that to the Pirates at a 4.7. Also, the win probability for the Reds is 72%. Everything is pointing towards the Reds to take this. So like I mentioned right here, the Cincinnati Reds projected score is 5.3. Compare that to the Pirates at a 4.7. Also, the Pirates have been struggling 3 of the last 9 games they've lost. 4 of the last 5 games they've lost. Compare that on the opposite side, the Reds have won 4 of the last 5 games as well. But neither is the one for the Pirates. And the bullpen, like I said, is much stronger. OPS is much stronger. Everything is pointing, the line move is going towards the Reds as well. So the first slip, guys, I'm giving you is the Reds money line at a -115 is what I was able to get it at much earlier today. So the second game to look at here is the Cubs. We've been going with the Cubs. We've been smashing. They were playing against a very weak White Sox. Now they're going against a very weak Marlins. So again, we're going to take the Cubs today. You can see the ERA is much better for Brown compared to Cabrera. They have fewer home runs and walks. The edge is on the Cubs for the starting pitching as well. And then check out the bullpen is a little bit better, not too much, but the Cubs still have a much better pitching. Also, the rank for the Cubs versus the Marlins ranked 13 to get on base. It's not a big difference there, but it's still somewhat important. Also, one of the better props that we have for baseball today is going to be for the Cubs. You can see Seika, Suzuki, and some dude they call PAC. Crawford, all these dudes are good for the Cubs. The last time out that they went, Cubs versus Marlins, the Cubs won 2 out of those 3 games. Also for the Cubs, you can see 4 of the last 5 games they've won. Compare that to the Marlins, they've only won 3 out of the last 5. The projected score for the Cubs is 5.5 compared to the Marlins at a 4.0. Also, the Cubs pitcher, like I mentioned, he's won 3 games and lost 2. And compare that to the Marlins, Cabrera. He's won only 2 games and lost 3. Plus, his ERA is almost double the other guy. So the second play I'm giving you guys is the Cubs money line. You can parlay these together if you want. I'm not doing that. I'm taking them straight up. Cubs money line. I know it's a little bit higher at the 180, but that's what I'm doing. I do like the Mariners against the White Sox. The White Sox have been straight trash. We actually beat them 3 times in the last 3 games with the Cubs, but the Mariners are not the Cubs. Also, the White Sox have a good record at home, and when they were playing against the Cubs, they were still in Chicago, but they were playing in the Cubs stadium. So either way, the White Sox are much better at home, and I don't trust the Mariners to cover this one. I do like the Mariners, but I'm staying away because of that strong record for the White Sox. Now, the Phillies is the strongest game on the board today. They're going against a very weak Rockies. The Rockies are one of the worst teams. They actually are the worst team in baseball right now. You can see Christopher Sanchez for Philadelphia is a 2.77 ERA. Compare that to Freeland. That's almost triple the ERA, which is bad. And that's a massive edge towards the Phillies. Also, the bullpen is very strong at a 3.25 for the Phillies. Compare that to the weak bullpen for the Rockies is a 5.46. Also, this one is not too much. The OPS, what this means is the on-base percentage, how many times they get on base. They're pretty much even on the on-base percentage. The Phillies are 4-1 in the last 5. The Rockies are 2-10 in the last 12. Overall, like I said, they're the weakest team in baseball with an 838 record, meaning they've only won 8 times. Projected score is the Phillies 6.3. Compare that to the Rockies at a 4.6. The win probability for the Phillies is The win probability for the Phillies is 80%. Here's exactly what I just said in the graph. You can see 4 out of the last 5 they've won. Rockies only won 1 of the last 5. Projected score is 6.3. Compare that to a 4.6. So the play I'm going with, guys, is the Phillies at a -1.5. So there you go, guys. Three plays that I just hooked you up with. You can mix and match these if you want, parlay them together. However, if you like this sort of information, guys, make sure you subscribe. We're on a very hot streak right now. Please subscribe. Also, make sure you go to the link in the description and click on where it says free.